Today's episode is going to be very interesting for those who are fascinated by astronomy. The outer space is truly a marvel. Human beings have been studying astronomy for thousands of years. Still, there are countless galaxies unexplored and phenomena undiscovered. Today's episode is about the Betelgeuse star. The word has 2 to 3 pronunciations like Betelgeuse, the one that I just said, Betelgeuse and Betelgeuse. I felt that Betelgeuse is the right pronunciation, but many are using the Betelgeuse pronunciation. So let's go with that. We all know that constellation is a name given to a group of stars in the sky that make up a certain pattern. Betelgeuse is the second brightest star in the constellation Orion. It is the first magnitude red supergiant star that marks the right shoulder of the constellation Orion. It is also the 11th brightest star in the sky and one of the 57 stars of celestial navigation. It is found among the brightest stars viewed from mid-northern latitudes. It lies approximately 10 degrees north of the most prominent group of wintertime stars Alnitak, Alnilam and Mintaka. These are the 3 stars that comprise Orion's belt. In both the northern and southern hemispheres, Betelgeuse is visible in the winter months and is highest in the sky at a 10 p.m. observation on February 4th. The name Betelgeuse derives from the Arabic Bat al-Jawsa, which means the giant's shoulder. In Persia, Betelgeuse was called the arm. To the ancient Greeks, Betelgeuse represented Orion's right shoulder. Betelgeuse is one of the largest stars known to man with a diameter roughly 950 times that of the Sun. For comparison, the diameter of Mars's orbit around the Sun is 328 times the Sun's diameter. With the surface temperature of 3100 Kelvin, Betelgeuse is a cool star that emits 87% of its energy as infrared radiation, which is not visible to the naked eye. In 1836, the astronomer John Herschel discovered that Betelgeuse was a variable star. Any star whose observed light varies in intensity is known as variable star. The changes in brightness may be periodic, semi-regular or completely irregular. Betelgeuse varied by approximately 1 magnitude over a period of 5.7 to 6.4 years. This star is 640 light years from Earth and it is in the final stages of stellar evolution. Infrared studies from spacecraft have revealed that Betelgeuse is surrounded by immense shells of material evidently shed by the star during episodes of mass loss over the past 100,000 years. The largest of these shells has a radius of nearly 7.5 light years. I told that Betelgeuse is the 11th brightest star in the sky. However, the star began dimming in October 2019 and by mid-December the star had faded so much it wasn't even in the top 20. Betelgeuse typically fades and brightens in short cycles of 14 months and longer cycles of about 6 years. To be clear, dimming alone is not odd for a star like Betelgeuse. As I told earlier, it is a variable star and its shifts in brightness have been closely studied for decades. However, it is unusual for one of the sky's most prominent star to fade so noticeably, prompting scientists to consider the possibility that something more exciting could be about to happen. Betelgeuse might explode and die, briefly blazing brighter than the full moon before vanishing from our sky forever. Huge red stars like Betelgeuse live fast and die violently, exploding in stellar events called supernova that are visible across vast distances. So, while Betelgeuse is a relatively young star, when I say young, it is actually about 8.5 million years old. And astronomers know that it is nearing the end of its life. Betelgeuse will keep burning until the atoms in its core finally fuse into iron and the star runs out of fuel. It is possible that the star could explode any time between now and another 100,000 years from now. The star will collapse violently and then explode. The resulting supernova will release staggering amounts of energy and create a burst of even heavier elements as it casts debris out into space. For a while, the dying star will be visible in the daytime and shine as bright as the moon. Betelgeuse is huge and bloated, wielding 20 times the sun's heft. If you swapped out the sun and replaced it with Betelgeuse, the red star would swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, the asteroid belt, a couple of spacecraft, and maybe Jupiter. Saturn would suddenly be quite toasty. Even though Betelgeuse is nearby in astronomical terms, it is nowhere near close enough for the explosion to affect life on Earth. Astronomers calculate that it will take about 6 million years for the shock wave and any cold diffuse debris to reach the solar system, and even then the sun's protective bubble will shield us from the splattered star guts. There is another theory that maybe Betelgeuse has already exploded and we have not yet seen it happen. It takes light from this star about 600 years to reach us, meaning that we are actually observing the star as it was 600 years ago. If we do see it detonate in our sky anytime soon, that means the star actually blew up sometime during the European Middle Ages and light from the blast is just reaching Earth. Either way, scientists are excited to keep watch on Betelgeuse and see what sorts of surprises the star still has in store. I told earlier that the star is relatively closer to us. So, when this star detonates, the explosion will be bright enough to cast shadows on Earth at night and will be visible during the day for a few months at least. Then the star will fade from our sky. Many of us, including a great many professional and amateur astronomers, are hoping to witness the first naked eye supernova in our galaxy since 1604. That being said, yes, the last supernova visible to naked human eye happened in the year 1604. So, if or when the Betelgeuse supernovas, it will become the most witnessed astronomical event in human history, visible to nearly all of Earth's inhabitants. The first signal to arrive won't be visual at all, but it will come in the form of neutrinos. After that, a few hours later, the light will first arrive in a spike, followed by a gradual brightening over a little more than a week, which will fall off in stages over the coming months before gradually declining for years. The remnant, which consists of gaseous outer layers, will illuminate for thousands of years and will continue to delight our descendants for generations to come. We have no idea when the show will begin, but at least we know what to look for and expect when it actually occurs. Thank you for the patience. Stay connected with us. This is Nisha PS.